If there is a place I always go back to, it's Sunset Valley. The tackiness and the nostalgia are just the perfect blend for me to just enjoy the cozy vibes of this little town we all know, love it or not. And now that I finally got my Sims 3 to run well on my PC, I came up with this idea of giving my favorite town here a light makeover. I know lots of people take away the ugliness and the bright colors that define this base game monstrosity, but honestly, I'm just here to give it a polished look and add my personal touch to it. Sunset Valley just ain't the same without that. And why not start with my favorite family here, the Alvis, with their little rundown house that when you get to see the inside, you're greeted with the eyesore of clashing patterns and purple and yellow. And listen, I love this house, but it is quite empty and fugly in the best way possible because I do love fugly, but it just really, it doesn't have a sense to it. Even tacky has some sort of structure, believe me. And I wanted to give this house a look that is inspired by not only warm, bright colors, but to bring the Alvi's Asian roots to it. Iqbal and his two young sons, Mirage and VJ, are the currently purest family in town, with only 600 simoleons to their name. So I wanted to give Flavafoo, that's the name of the house by the way, a rundown look that isn't just EA playing around with the creative style tool. Cause it really feels that way. I started with downsizing this ginormous bathroom they had first because it had enough space to be a spare bedroom or something. Just getting a shower bathtub combo before just felt awkward with the shape of the room, so I downsized it to look better and not be just full of empty space. A lot of creators tend to revamp this house and get rid of the tile, and I really didn't want to do that because tile floors do exist in houses, and this one didn't need hard wood to be as pretty. The first thing I did to the flooring actually was getting it less brightly colored and give it a more earthy, dull tone, mainly due to my reshade array being as saturated as it is. This was also my second attempt of doing a makeover in TS3. Shocking, I know. I love this game, but I never ever got it running okay until this year. Sunset Valley was my most played town ever when I was a kid, so I'm making myself a favor of going back to this wonderful game and just trying out new things in it. But I have had a plan of what I wanted in this build, and I didn't really want to waste too much time choosing and picking all of the stuff due to the fact that I was only redoing the previous makeover I did for this house the day before. And I think that's an awful way of doing makeovers, by the way, but I wanted to record this build, so I just redid everything all over again, and that's that. I also made some sense to this house layout because I did not want to change it too much. But instead of the back door being in the boys' room, I got a small corridor built in and got Iqbal's bedroom door connected to the living area instead of the kitchen. I also got rid of the purple, which I loved. The tackiness of it is just part of me. I love bright colors, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't make it work with the style I was going for this time. Iqbal and the family name are all Pakistani/Middle Eastern, so I wanted to work on that look to the house. If you ever been to a Middle Eastern home, you know what I'm talking about. Not me using my grandma's home as inspiration for a TS3 makeover. Ooh. I did not want to ditch the warm yellows and the reds though, so it's the predominant palette that I use in the living room. Instead of random patterns of the Create a Style tool, I tried giving all of the ones that I made look pleasing to the eye. I also knew that I wanted to get rid of all the empty space in this house, which, good lord, I hate wasted space. EA absolutely wanted me dead in TS3 with the amount of empty corners every room and every build has. So my newfound goal in this life is to get rid of most of that in Sunset Valley, and that will be a tremendously hard thing to do. Oh goodness. For the entryway, I always try to add a dresser or something for the Sims to change or to pretend it is just his storage area. It always adds a nice touch of realism in the builds, and I do love a touch of realism when it's needed. And of course, getting everything to look pleasing to the eye and not being as headache-inducing is also one of my favorite things to do in TS3. It is quite easy to get any place looking nice because of the mighty color wheel. Even though the build by catalog lacks in specific tidbits, I think the color wheel makes the difference. I couldn't get this makeover to look as color matchy without that. TS3, you're winning, son. TS3 also has this particular thing that doesn't really strike my fancy. It's lighting. It's quite dim. I have to resort to the by debug light so I can properly lighten the rooms and the indoors. It's quite dark and it's not really flattering for any screenshots, or when you're just playing, you just can't really see your Sims properly, or the whole room itself. I know this is part of the game, but I do like to use the by debug lights, and it makes everything look so much better. This house already comes with tons of colorful patterns, and I did want to preserve the colorfulness of them. And I did want them to look more fitting to the surroundings instead of being the result of the little dice roll in the pattern section. It just looked so random. So you'll see me going around and concocting all of these intricate patterns that I know will fit the theme of the house, and always going back to the earthy colors and never really just deviating from the style that I was going for. One of the things that I was doing a lot, and it helps a lot when I'm building in Sims 3, is just zooming out and looking at the room and seeing what fits and if the colors are balanced. And you'll see me do this a lot, especially when I go to the bigger rugs and just adjust them and going back. And it's a very delicate thing to do, but it just suits the room much better when you do that. There is stuff from the EA store that I've placed in this build, like the mirror and the little arga jars on the floor. They're from the India inspiration set, the little tapestry that I'll add in later. It's also from there. There's also some recolors that are less Indian inspired that I've used, seeing how the West usually bundles up India and West Asia together, as if they're the same thing. Think of the Disney movie Aladdin or something. Doesn't mean Asian cultures don't borrow stuff from each other. Just no, it's just that there's this misconception that it's just all clumped together and stereotypes. It's a pet peeve of mine to see how many different cultures are crammed together to get the desert sands, magic carpets, and curved swords thing that we see around. I'm not Pakistani myself, and there's not even an official statement that the Alvis are Pakistani, but their names are common in the Middle East, so I had to go for this loose, not really specific culture take on the house. But if anyone who's Pakistani and it's viewing this, I'd love to know what I can add in to make this build look more like it, as my own inspiration are just a different culture whatsoever. I also see that a lot of people don't use curtains in TS3, and I get why. The lighting in this game, it's something. It's always too dark inside, so the bitey bug lights are, you know, a must. And the curtains do tend to filter the light coming from the windows, which is not ideal, but I just love curtains, and I always add tons of curtains in all of my builds. And this build does really need curtains because the style that I'm going for, everyone just knows that old houses have tons of curtains, so they have curtains here. It is a sight to see how easy you can match the colors to every furniture you have in TS3, because the color wheel, it's a blessing for creativity, even though I sometimes like the challenge of matching what fits and what doesn't in the later games, because also I'm a huge fan of the TS4 build by mode. But TS3 is a whole different level of customization that I just don't get to experience anymore. I feel like I ramble a lot during this video, so I'll just be adding in some commentary along the way, and I hope you enjoy what I've been doing here. Iqbal's bedroom before not only looked like he was having some serious parties in there, it just didn't fit his personality at all. The guy's a no sense of humor, single, middle-aged dad. I'm pretty sure zebra stripes would fit anywhere else but here. And again, the bar, that is just EA branded tacky for you. Again, don't get me wrong, I love it. But this speed build was leaning more for the realism and another totally different vibe, so I got rid of it, sadly. Yeah. Instead, he got this little study area that I've turned later on into an aquarium for his lifetime wish. Also, I've added in a reading nook and went on with the bland brown tone colors that I think Iqbal would much rather prefer than the bedroom that fits more a party animal, Don Lothario type of guy than him. And this bedroom definitely lacked a big Persian rug, so it is rightfully added in. There's also some bits of decoration like the little wooden boat that also represent his love for fishing. For the boys' bedroom, I wanted to keep their single beds like before instead of a bunk bed, so I toyed around with the patterns to make everything look a bit more worn down and realistic. VJ is done dirty in this game, like Tank Grant all over again or something. The little guy just was set to have no redeeming quality, so I wanted to bring him all of his rebel side with his posters and dark colors that he's already dressed in. Mirage is a sweet good doer, and I like the mint green colors that I chose for his more childish side of the room. But you can see that I've clearly went over the budget many times, and that is because some items in this game are crazy expensive for no reason. Just to let you know, The hanging fern from the base game is 1,000 simoleons, and there is a stack of CDs from, I think it's one of the object stuff packs that is like 7,000. Who is setting all of these prices? Like, I'm pretty sure the base game bulletin board is around 7,000 quid, and that is just crazy. And it's so funny, some furniture also costs like 20 something quid, and it's all Victorian, fancy looking, and it just makes no sense. I don't know what's wrong with the TS3 prices. I know that the TS2 catalog was expensive, but TS3 is way over the top. But I did not want to make this build lack was essentially clutter, so ka-ching it is. For the end of this video, I've added in stuff that I might have missed out, and cat stuff because they have a cat named Furiosa, and she needed her own things. Of course, we cannot forget about the bathroom, and it's much smaller now. I felt like before it just looked like an empty spare bedroom that people put a toilet in. It just didn't look right for me. So instead of that, I made it smaller and changed some of the colors and basically made everything look very teal, blue, greenish. It's very gentle to the eye instead of there was like some orange tones and before, and it just really stood out. So now it's very baby colored. I think their fish is named Mad Max or something. I don't know why I went on with this theme for the animals, but I just felt like VJ was the one that was naming all of the animals. I didn't change the outside at all. I just added in the washing machine and sorted out some things around to look better. But later on I did add a small veggie garden for Iqbal and an easel for VJ, who's also very artistic here in my game. And also I've added a chess table for Mirage, and that's it basically. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to tell me what you think of this small makeover. I'm getting used again to TS3, so I know this ain't the best, but hopefully I'll learn new ways to build in this game because I am a TS2 girly through and through, and find out more ways to improve on my decoration skills here on TS3. And here is the end result in my current save game, where Mirage is already a teen and we already have some new stuff around the house, such as Iqbal's perfect goldfish, who is not Mad Max anymore. I think Mad Max died. Yeah, his name's Goblin now, thanks VJ. And there's the aquarium that I said that I've added in, and Iqbal's perfect fish. And down here we have Furiosa, Alvi, our little fiery angel, and VJ trying to skip school because he's got a bit of a mood. Here's also the dining area with the kitchen, where I've added a microwave, and in the boys' room I got a little trophy rack on Mirage's side of the bedroom, but most of it looks the same with everything looking exactly where I put it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this so far. I'm thinking of starting off this makeover series with the house up front, which belongs to the Sakamotos. Or if you want me to play Sunset Valley, or just show what I've been doing in the town of Greymount Bay, which is a custom content world I'm slowly filling with Sims, you're free to tell me in the comments below. As always, thank you so very much for watching, stay safe, and bye-bye!